Back to the racing action here on Home Track Heroes on the CW11. Caleb Hart, Kyler Hope, and you are watching the Street Stock A main event down to 12 laps to go, and action still tight up in the top three. That's who you're watching. It's the silver with white number and black stripe 28 of Dave Lund. Out in front, Ted Lindgren, the black and fluorescent orange number 1, trying to chase him down and within a car length. And the third place car, the blue with red number 41, is Mark Hubbard. They're your top three in your screen, entering the corner right now and coming in to 10 laps to go.
Yeah, they got a little over half straightaway, a lead over fourth place Nick Beecher, as these top three have really checked out, shown why they are the three best, the three guys to beat week in and week out in the Street Stock division, as the last 10 laps they've ran nose to tail. So let's see if either Lindgren or Hubbard have anything for that 28 of Dave Lund.
Yeah, the questions that you ask yourself at this point in time is, how are the tires doing? Again, a little bit longer main events here for the Summer Showdown program. And two, how are the brakes doing? As the brake systems heat up, things start to get warm. Do you have a good cooling system going on your brakes? Do you get the right brake fluid in? What's your pad life looking like? Those are the two major factors that can play in here in the late stages of a race like this. And you can kind of see Lund had been just glued to the bottom of the raceway for every lap that we'd watch. Now, car just drifting a little bit extra more than what it was before.
Yeah, and if you look at the 41, the blue 41 at the end of this three-car pack, Hubbard is having a really tough time coming off the corners. You'll see him wiggle a ton, trying to get the power down, so maybe just not quite enough tires there. The tires changed more than they thought, but huge run for him coming off of turn number 4 right there. Able to get to the outside briefly of Ted Lindgren and hanging tough there. It looks like there's an issue with the 1 almost. He's having a really tough time getting off the corner now, as we saw that gap between him and Dave Lund open up huge.
Yeah, and look at all the speed that Hubbard's putting together himself. Both Lindgren slowing down and Hubbard making a little bit of an adjustment to swing wide and carry some more momentum through the corner, let him close on him. Now they're stringing back out once again as Lund, a little bit of lap traffic to deal with as the car he's lapping does the courteous thing and pulls to the side, lets leaders by.
Yeah, rookie Jeffrey Watson hanging away out wide, letting them all go by. But it is still Dave Lund with a comfortable enough lead over Ted Lindgren. It's actually opened up a ton right there off the corner. Ted Lindgren just looks really tight off the corner, unable to get all the power down, loses a ton of speed. Meanwhile, Mark Hubbard really loose off the corner, unable to get the power pointed straight off the corner.
Almost saw the rear end coming out and slapping the wall, middle of the straightaway there for Hubbard, so he's got his hands full too.
Yeah, he's smoking up that right rear in the middle of the corner and coming off it, which is not what you want to do, not the proper way to treat your tires. So we come up on just 3 laps remaining for Dave Lund, as that gap has opened up massively in the last 6 laps or so.
Yeah, Lund just has to behave. Don't make the big blunder from here forward. Just 3 more times around on the 3/8 as you watch a nice full inside pit area. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the program. 1, 2 to go and making it look easy in the 28.
Yeah, as those first 10 laps from the restart, about lap 20, he had a ton of pressure, was able to keep things nice, calm, and collected. And now he can look back, kind of relax, see that the gap's opened up quite a bit from that bright orange and black car, as coming by to get the white flag. Just one more time around for Dave Lund. His first time back in a few races, and he's making it look easy like he didn't miss a step.
You want to do it in front of the big crowd, the big lap count, and so far so good. Down the back straightaway for the final time with a comfortable margin. And off the final corner here at the Summer Showdown, Dave Lund gonna get the victory.
And across the line, checkered flag is out. Ted Lindgren second, Mark Hubbard third, Nick Beecher able to hang on to 4th. Pendergrass a few laps down. Next car on the lead lap right there, Jake Grant. So massive lead from 1st to 5th. But we're going to go down to Kelly Hill on the Angel Wins podium.
Dave, congratulations. A great race. Those guys were pressuring you. Towards the end, though, you finally were able to start pulling away and secure the victory.
Yeah, car's pretty hooked up. It was looking good today. We're a little short on horsepower. I got about an 8-year-old crate motor in it, but just consistency paid us off.
Dave, just a quick question. How many years have you been doing this now?
30 this year.
30 years. This man has been a street stock legend here in the Northwest. Who do you need to thank?
I'd like to thank Cheyenne Scale and all my crew. I got about 20 people today that came up to hang out. So all of them, I appreciate them all, and all the fans that called me and harassed me to come back. So here I am.
Ted, congratulations. I thought that was just a great street stock race, and you and Hubbard, along with Dave Lund, you put on a show for the fans.
We do put on a show, and you know what we do. Here we go. Woo! Man, what a great house tonight. Everybody enjoying it?
Right on.
All right. That was fun. I had a little bit for Lund there, but he's a tough guy to get around. And she went away at the end, but Mark and I had a good battle, and it was a good show.
Who do you need to thank, Ted?
Hey, we got a new one. My buddy Kelly Marriott. You guys ever want a nice cruise? SoundviewCruises.com. Go check him out. It's awesome. Holds 20. Of course, Emerald City Harley. Yeah! My company, American Image, AIHair.com, EF65, Amsoil, Performance Loop Synthetics to your door. Can't do it without my crew. Jimmy Lampinen, Shane Perkins, Aaron Dickland, my buddy, is at home right now. They're battling some health, but Adam Bahari and his wife, my lovely wife's out there with baseball over the county with my kids. But this is awesome. Everybody have a great time tonight.
Great battle going on between yourself and Ted Lindgren, as well as Dave Lund. A fantastic race.
We had a shot on that restart, and I spun the tires, and that allowed Ted to get under me, and I was never able to recover. I just didn't have enough drive off the top, make some changes. I think I might have broke a shock, so we'll look at all that and get it ready for the next race.
So quick question then, talking about the drive off of the top, the tire situation this year, is that starting to come into play maybe?
Well, we finally got a new tire this week, so that was on the right rear, so there's no reason that it didn't have any drive off the top. We either missed the setup or we broke a shock.
All right, who do you need to thank for getting you here, Mark?
Interstate Batteries, Let's Sack Cancer for Kids, Rick Chevron, Rick's Tire and Service, Lawn Doctor.
Thank you, Kelly, as we get set to move on to the BECU mini stocks, and this is the biggest field we've had all year with them. Very exciting. It's going to be action-packed.
The mini stocks, action-packed is one way to put it. It's almost been chaotic at times with the mini stocks this year. A lot of talented drivers, some tempers have flared at points in time, and again, big crowd, a lot of laps. Everybody wants to show out here at the Summer Showdown. This main event could have a lot of storylines to follow, and that's putting it pretty mildly.
Yeah, next week we have the Northwest Mini Stock Tour, so a few of the out-of-town guys came a day early and are running tonight, so it's going to be a local versus invader battle, as we'll see here. Get to know the lineup on the front row. We got the 97 of Nat Barber, sponsored by Racers Against Child Abuse. And on his outside of the 4, Cole Reardon, sponsored by Above and Beyond Design Construction.
The second row is Zach Bristol. Bristol will be in the 07. Next to him, it is the multiple-time champion Lane Sundholm, car number 18, sponsored by Foss Motorsports.
And in row number 3, we got the 521 of Mike Jensen, sponsored by Liuna Local 292. To his outside, the 14 of Colton Price.
A lot of talent those first 3 rows. Go back to the 4th row. Dylan Bewald in the Puget Sound Auto Repair in Port Orchard, number 29. Next to him, the Simon & Sons towing number 16 of Travis Woodward.
And rounding out the top 10, we got the 10 car of Cameron Iverson, sponsored by McConey Setup Shop. To his outside, the 20 of Jason Wilson.
Xander Peters, the 69, starts on the inside of the next row. Next to him, the 8 of Josh McMillan, sponsored by Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas really giving him a shot tonight, so hopefully that 8 car will be able to move his way forward. And in the next row, we got the 2 of Reggie Gill, sponsored by Kraft Mayo. To his outside, the 23 of Travis Barnes.
Back to the next row, the 4R, John Haygood. Next to him, the 22A of Rick Ackerman Jr., starting in the 16th position.
And in the last 2 spots, we got the 88 of Ryan McLeod. His outside, another 88 of Devin Matthews.
So 18 cars, 40 times around here in the 3/8 for the mini stock division. And like we talked about, we've seen Barber and Reardon get together already this year. Those guys did a little yapping. Now, hopefully they've settled things out. They're both on the Christmas card list once again, and they're playing nice. But they're starting on the front row here in this main event. And like we said, there's a lot of talent in his, but just the front 3 rows of this, there's a lot of race wins and a lot of guys with a lot of speed.
Oh, yeah, Zach Bristol in the 07. He has shown some speed in that car for sure. And then there's Lane Sunholm in the championship car from last year in that 18, and we'll see what he's able to do from outside of row number 2. And then we got Mike Jensen, the 521. He's been consistent all year long, still trying to get that top spot a few more times as he lacks a couple wins I think he wishes he would have had. And then Colton Price in that ever so strong little number 14. So like you said, it is a stacked 3 rows at the start, but not to count out the rest of the field. There's a ton of good cars behind them.
We'll see if anybody can come up from the back and surprise us, but coming off of this corner, the brawl will begin for 40 laps here in the mini stock division.
A huge field of never-ending cars. Green flag is out. Nat Barber, Cole Reardon take us down to number 1. Huge jump from Cole Reardon on the outside as he tries to make that outside line work. Going to be tough to get around Nat Barber, though.
Yeah, didn't quite get the car rotated in the corner to make a long straightaway, but man, look at the get up and go that Reardon's got from the outside groove, trying to clear Barber coming off of 4. He's going to lead lap number 1, but can he get to the bottom?
Yeah, and behind them, Colton Price took him 3 wide around the outside, made it work. So no issues for Colton running the outside, but Cole Reardon making the outside work for himself as he takes over the top spot. Lane Sunholm going to follow through. Nat Barber falls into 3rd with Mike Jensen, Colton Price side by side for 4th.
Now we know that Reardon is comfortable leading the race. We also know that Sunholm is comfortable going to the outside groove to try to get around him. He's not going to just sit in on that rear bumper. At least we don't think he's going to sit in on that rear bumper and wait for a mistake. That car is proven to handle up through the middle and the outside, and we'll see how long it takes Sunholm to get a little challenging in the upper groove.
Yeah, and with the 40-lap race, he knows he has plenty of time to do it, but we'll see how patient Lane Sunholm can be as they go 3 wide behind them for 3rd. But up front, it is still Lane Sunholm putting down a ton of pressure on Cole Reardon. Just 3 laps into it, but here comes Colton Price now into the picture, taking over that 3rd spot. So they're really wasting no time to try to get forward, even though they have plenty of it.
Well, Price knew he had to go. Those top 2 were getting out, and they were starting to get far. So he made his move, got up into 3rd, and now he can spend a little bit of time reeling them in and get himself into the picture to talk about one of those top 2 finishing positions. You can already see him kind of closing the gap after that lap.
Yeah, and one thing that Kayla mentioned earlier, we got that inside wall protecting all of the pits that are on the inside of all the late models, pros and supers. So a little bit different look and probably a little bit different visual for some of the drivers as they dive down turn number 1. They got a wall that they're hugging instead of normally just one single Uke tire down there. So completely different feel for all these drivers out here mentally. Track's the same, but it's just visually different for them.
For a guy like Reardon and a guy like Sunholm who have years of experience running here at Evergreen Speedway, the change in that visual is definitely something. A guy like Price, who doesn't have as much track time, may not be as big of a deal for him because he's not as accustomed to the way that it, quote, usually looks.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and Colton definitely gaining on the top 2. So top 3 cars have really checked out from the rest of the field. It is Cole Reardon 1st, Lane Sunholm 2nd, Colton Price 3rd, with Mike Jensen and Nat Barber 4th and 5th, just now coming off of turn number 2. So about half straightaway lead between your top 3 and 4th.
Yeah, it almost looks like a country mile between what your top 3 is and then getting back to the rest of the pack. As you can see, Sunholm starting to try some things here. The car is going into and exiting the corner in a little different way, as we're going to flash back to the back of the field and take a look at some of those battles.
Yeah, we got Jason Wilson, Reggie Gill right there battling side by side. Cameron Iverson, this is for about the 8th position on track with Travis Woodward and a few more other behind them. It's a nice little pack. Good racing a little bit farther back as it is really tight. Reggie Gill trying to make the pass all the way on Jason Wilson, not quite clear. Now he's going to clear him as they come up on some lap traffic. One of the 88s, not sure if that's Matthews or McLeod. But this is a tight pack, all nose to tail coming off the corner.
Wilson is in that blue with white trim at number 2. Wilson is the red, white, and blue number 20 out there.
Whoa, Reggie Gill going around by himself right in front of that big pack we were just watching.
Commentator's curse every time.
Right as we go back to that pack, they spin out. So tough break there for Reggie Gill. So it's just could have been that, maybe that inside wall. It could have been something visual. Could have just been getting the corner a little bit hot.
Could have been something that we don't see. You never know about random mechanical failure. Just one of those little pieces that might be bent, broke into the wrong period of time, takes him around over in turn number 2 and restart time.
Yeah, Travis Woodward barely snuck by right there. So good job by the 16 getting through that. This segment is brought to you by Angel of the Winds Casino Resort. Celebrate 100 perfect smoke-free gaming at Angel of the Winds Casino Resort. Whether a birthday, gender reveal excursion with friends, strikers, bowling, or all things sports, Angel of the Winds Casino Resort offers incredible packages with exciting extras. Book your party package today by visiting angelofthewinds.com.
Well, Cole Reardon, if he ends up taking this main event home, will have some spending money if he wants to go spend a night out at Angels, get some food, some entertainment, and as they're going to come back to green flag off the corner. And, boy, Lane Sunholm nose was just a little bit ahead at the white stripe there.
Yeah, I think Cole Reardon might have been playing some games there, trying to get Lane to jump early and try to get him sent to the back, but I don't think it quite worked as they go side by side through 1 and 2 and all the way down to turn number 3. Lane just diving it way in there, that 18 car.
And look how quickly and how down on the track he can get. Yeah, he sailed it in with a ton of speed, but that car did not drift up high. He is quickly down to the bottom in your lead and taking off Lane Sunholm.
Yeah, that caution really helped out Lane, but also helped out the 521 of Mike Jensen as he's side by side for third now. And Colton Price, the top 3, like we mentioned earlier, had a huge lead on the rest of the field, but that allowed Mike Jensen to catch back up and now try to battle for a spot on the podium.
Yeah, those laps where you're running not at full speed, you get a chance to cool your tires a little bit, cool your brakes a little bit. A couple of things that we talked about with on the street stocks that affect the long-term performance of your car. Jensen had a chance to do that and gave him a shot to run up into the top 3.
Yeah, and just like that, Lane Sunholm was checked out as we have 27 laps remaining. That looked like the 8 car of Josh McMillan pulling off, so tough break there. As we're going to go a little bit farther back, we have Xander Peters and Dylan Bewald battling just inside or just outside the top 5, battling for 6th and 7th spot. So a couple good runs there. Xander Peters making a run up, one of the out-of-towners, highest running of all of them right now. So good looking there by the 69 machine with Dylan Bewald right on his back bumper.
Yeah, Bewald, that red with white number 29 that you saw in your pictures. We'll go back a couple extra spots. Zach Bristol's 07 intermixing and getting in the battle is Jason Wilson right in behind him trying to take that spot away.
Yeah, we got Rick Eckerman Jr. right in front of them in his 22 car. Normally runs down South Sound Speedway, so good to see him come up, make the drive here. We saw him earlier in the year, so it's always cool seeing these big field of mini stocks because there's battles all over the track as Xander Peters has still a mirror full of Dylan Bewald right in front of him as Jason Wilson hangs it out a little bit wide. That's going to open up the door for Travis Barnes to try to get through.
Yeah, Barnes had a shot at her. He'll lose a little bit through the center of the corner. Let's go back another couple of spots to one of the other 4 cars. John Haygood in the white with blue number 4. So you're looking at theirs. We'll go back forward to the battle, and Wilson open the bottom up for Barnes. Can Barnes sneak through?
Battles all over the track, and Barnes driving it deep down on the inside of Jason Wilson. Looks like Jason turned right last second. Didn't quite know the 23 car was there. As this is good battle. And this is for the 10th position, might I add. This is how good a racing it is all throughout the pack. 10th position on your screen right now. It looks like Jason Wilson's line, maybe?
Maybe. Close. We'll find out as we're closing in on halfway here. This is 22 laps remaining, so we're 18 in on this one. And we're watching cars back in the field still nose to tail in the middle of the pack as this time no doubter on it. Give it to Barnes.
So still some good battling back in the pack. Up front, it's not changed. Lane Sunholm over Cole Reardon, Colton Price, as we're going to flash back up to the front of the field. There goes Lane Sunholm, massive lead over Cole Reardon, but he's got a mirror full of Colton Price, to say the least.
Right in behind him, yeah, Reardon and Price. Good battle as you saw them just kind of peeking into the picture. There they are once again entering corner number 3, and Colton Price giving Reardon all kinds of pressure as they come off the 4th turn and down onto the front straightaway.
Yeah, and if you look to the inside pits, you see the Pro Late models going through tech and starting to get lined up. So the Pro Late models getting ready for their feature a little bit later on. But first, we still have the back half of this mini stock main event rolling to finish as Cole Reardon still trying to fend off the very strong young Colton Price.
Lane Sunholm looks like he's driving a slot car at this point in time. You remember the old slot cars you had the trigger with? You played as a kid. Just give it the right amount of application. That car is just stuck.
Hopefully that's not the same result as if you give it too much power in those slot cars and they go flying across the room. Hopefully that doesn't happen to that 18 car. But up our second place, Cole Reardon, he's doing a very good job of holding that inside line and not letting Colin Price get through, but Colin Price is getting ready to move him out of the way, it looked like.
Yeah, Price even widened his entry coming into turn number 1, kind of swung high before the start of the corner. That way he could cut down to the apex and try to find some room underneath, but Raritan saw it coming from a mile away and just has it glued to the low side, saying, you want to get me, Colton? You're either going to have to dump me or drive around me. Pick away.
Yeah, we'll see what Colton ends up picking here. This is the battle for second on your screen. The second 2 spots on the podium. Lane Sunholm in that 18 car has checked out. Mike Jensen sitting in 4th, and Nat Barber still in 5th. As you see at the top of your screen right now, this is the best battle on track for second place. 2 guys we see out here week in and week out, and they are going to give each other everything they have, because every point matters when it comes to championship at the end of the year.
Yeah, Price better in 3 and 4. Raritan's been getting through 1 and 2 a little bit more, and that's kind of the discrepancy that you're seeing. Is right again off of 2. Here's where Raritan opens her up, and you're going to see it as they get into the 3rd turn. Watch how much more speed that Price carries in and through the middle of that corner, bringing that gap right back to almost nose to tail once again.
Yeah, and this is a really long green flag run that we're not quite used to in the mini stocks. Longer lap times or longer lap count, which makes it for longer green flag lap run. So these cars could be acting a new way for all these drivers, different than what they ever have had before, with different tire temps, different brake temps, like you mentioned. The cars just behaving completely different. So it's a whole new world for a lot of these drivers.
And there's the move. Raritan, you saw him get down into the dirt off the bottom of 1 and 2. Here's Price. Little love tap. Back end comes around on him. Door opens wide. Price to the low side. What's Raritan going to do?
That was 2 corners in a row where Colin's like, hey, buddy, I'm here. You got to move. And we'll see if Raritan's able to get back to the back bumper and give a little bit of retaliation, as he looks like he's trying for it. Carries a ton of speed down in turns 3 and 4. But like you mentioned earlier, entering the corner is just so hard to catch Colin, and it's going to take a lot to try to dump him at that point.
Well, we'll see. Raritan again had been better in 1 and 2, although Price seems like he's getting through that turn a little bit better now that he doesn't have to worry about Raritan in front of him. Slower traffic going to play a factor as they go up and around, and forces Raritan to the high side through the apex of the corner. That's a big benefit for Price.
Yep, 10, now 9 laps remaining. It looks like problems for the 16 to Travis Woodward, trying to limp it off track. Looks like he's going to make it onto the 5/8 to avoid any sort of caution. So we're going to head back up front. Lane Sunholm coming by, 8 laps remaining. He's just hoping for no caution and just get through these last 8 laps.
Yeah, if his car is handling any differently, it's really hard to pick out right now. We don't have the stopwatch on to give you lap times at this point in time, but like you said, just a huge extended green flag run, and I had to open my big mouth.
Another tire coming off and hitting those banners down the back straightaway. That's off the 20 of Jason Wilson. We'll get his car cleaned up and be back for the conclusion of the BECU Mini Stock main event.